It's the Mark and HooGie Show, featuring this week's guest, Mike Kroeger of Nickelback.
Hey, what's going on? It is the Mark and HooGie Show. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. And HooGie, you look great. Beautiful.
Dude, how have you been? It's so good to see you.
Been all right. I know. We act like we don't see each other every week.
Well, I mean, we only see each other in our, your studio and my closet.
Yes, exactly. But we've been busy. You've been busy putting new merch together, getting some new sponsors on board. Man,
we've got some exciting new things.
Yeah.
This would be our 13th episode. Lucky 13.
13 or 14? I think it might be 14.
14.
You don't even know. You don't even know. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a great time so far. A great ride. Check out our new merch. We've got all kinds of new merch. You can find any of that stuff at this link right down.
There you go.
Right there. Right there. Check it out. We've got, you've always wanted a Mark and HooGie beach towel.
I did. I always wanted one. And just in time for the beaches to close.
Exactly. But it's getting colder out. We've got blankets now. You can cuddle up next to the fire with the Mark and HooGie blanket. Yeah,
beautiful.
For the women out there, we've got the dress thing we've got going on. The Mark and HooGie. Yeah, have you seen it? Yeah,
like a moo-moo?
Yeah, sort of.
Or like okay, all right.
We got more stickers, more different shirts. Check them all out. Support so we can, keep the lights on, and I can have this closet. And
wait, your lights are on, or that's the thing? We need the money to get the lights on.
Get them on. I'm running this thing off of battery.
All right. Well, there you go. So check out the website, Mark and HooGie Show, themarkandhoogieshow.com, and make sure to subscribe to all our socials as well, and our YouTube page, because we've actually gotten a lot more subscribers on our YouTube page now that we're actually talking about it a bit more. So
just in general, overall, it's been the response has been amazing. So thank you all very much for tuning in.
Seriously, we got a good guest today. We have Mike Kroeger. I used to always call him Kroeger, like the grocery store, but it's actually Kroeger, I believe. You know what? We'll ask him. We'll ask him just to be sure.
Just to be sure.
He plays in a little band that you may have heard of, an up-and-coming band called Nickelback. Yes. Never heard of him before, have you?
Man, I tell you, I've known Mike since I was like 16, when I was underage, sneaking into the bars and...
Never do that.
Never do that. Back in the day when you can get away with a fake ID.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's great to have Mike on the show. It was awesome. I called him and he actually picked up the phone. So
that's always nice. Unlike me, I just send you right to voicemail. So
yeah.
Oh, wait. I mean, no, I don't. I never do that.
It's like, yeah, come over and pick this up. And then it's hanging on your door.
I had dinner plans. Okay, man. I had dinner plans. All right. So coming up, Mike Kroeger from Nickelback. We'll talk about, some new stuff that they've released, some new stuff that maybe they are going to be releasing coming up. I don't know. We'll find out. It's the Mark and HooGie Show. Mike Kroeger of Nickelback, today's guest. All right, thanks for tuning into the Mark and HooGie Show. And this week's guest from a little band called Nickelback, we have Mike Kroeger. It is Kroeger, not Kroeger.
Correct.
Because for years, I think a lot of people said Kroeger.
Yeah.
And then even I said Kroeger.
That one for you. Yeah, that's
like grocery store.
That's something that has sort of been... it's a tough thing to do I don't really like correcting people, especially when I'm on the record, but I've started to do it for the last name just...
Yeah.
Because,
Well, congrats on the release of The Devil Went Down to Georgia. It's super cool. Unfortunately, the reason it was released isn't good because we lost Charlie Daniels.
That wasn't the reason.
Oh, that wasn't the reason. Oh, okay. Well,
I actually, I got a bigger story for you on that, and not to cut you off, but I can give you the exact lowdown on that. Actually,
I would love the lowdown.
Enlighten us.
We've had that song in the can for many, many, many years. It was recorded as a demo originally many years back. I hadn't played on it until about 3 months ago, and the other guys had Daniel and Chad and Dave Martone had just laid down a demo many years ago, and we were just waiting for a chance to release it. And we went past 2 or 3 albums. Oh, wow. From when we recorded it, the demo, the idea, got the idea down, and then we kind of, it would come up on the records would arrive, and we'd be like, should we fold that in there, and should we do that, or should we release it? And it just never really, was the right time. And then we were like, okay, now's the right time. COVID was happening, and we were like, okay, we should release that because it is basically ready. I went in and played my parts in an afternoon and got that thing completely finished, and we got it finally mixed about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, I guess, 8 weeks ago. We got it finally mixed and done, and or longer. It was closer to 3 months that we were actually completed, come to think of it now. And then we set a release date for the song. And we were ready to go. It was all loaded up and ready to go. And then Charlie died. Previous to that, we had actually sent the song to him for his approval. And
so he heard it.
He gave us a seal of approval from Charlie. Wow, and
nice.
His passing was very sudden. It was I think it was a stroke out of left field, so nobody really saw it coming. But we actually got his seal of approval. He listened to the track. I'm not sure how big a fan he is of our genre of music. So that was pretty good natured of him to give us the go ahead. But then when he passed, we were like, oh shit, we had to hit the brakes because our release date was right there. It was within a week of his passing, and we were like, we didn't want to be associated with his day. It's actually kind of the opposite. We didn't want to be associated with his death. We didn't want to co-opt his demise, with the song. We kind of ran away from that. So we put it to bed for 4 to 6 weeks, I guess it was, since he did pass, so that the dust had settled, the family had grieved, and everything was in the past. Then we could release the song as just a song, not ambulance chasing a guy. That's kind of a bummer, right? So it's the timing's coincidental in a number of ways, because the timing was just about tragic. Thank goodness we were able to pull it up at the last minute.
It's interesting because I hear people say things like, "Oh man, Chad's voice sounds so different on it." Like, "Oh man, he sounds like a little older now." I know he sounds like he's like more metal sounding now, and it's like, but you're saying that song is old anyway.
It is. Well, the thing is that the reason he might sound a little older is because when Chad recorded that song, when he recorded the devil vocal. Mm-hmm. He did a low kind of growl harmony of himself. If you listen carefully, you can hear him. Half of it's spoken in his sort of his normal tone of voice, and then there's a double of him just kind of this very, very low heart, because he can go low too. Like Chad has a very, very wide register, and so he kind of growls the low harmony of the devil part, which could lead one to think that it sounds like that.
So what's the deal with new music then? I know that there's kind of been rumblings for a while that you guys were working on stuff. I've heard other things that you have a full album already done, just waiting to be released. So what's the truch?
We don't have an album fully ready to be released. We do not have that. That's okay. I can tell you that with all certainty. And all lip service aside, we are in a relaxed way working on it. The ideas are coming. It doesn't appear to be too big of a hurry.
Well,
we don't know when we're gonna tour again. It was several months ago that we actually, gave up the ghost on touring this year, and right now touring next year is kind of in the balance. We don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah. So the stuff you are working on, I know that there's also been talk like that it's a lot heavier than previous Nickelback stuff. Is there any truth to that? I
hope so. When the final body of work gets assembled, I hope it is heavier, just because that's sort of where my head is at. That's what my preference is. But at this point, I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure yet. We don't have enough for me to give you a proper assessment of that one.
I've always found you guys heavier when I see you live. Like, it's like you guys are almost like a heavy metal band when you see you guys live. And obviously that isn't the same on some of your songs. They're crossover songs, right? They've crossed over into different genres and stuff. But then you see you guys live, and it's a hell of a heavy metal rock show.
Well, yeah, and for someone who if you've only heard us on the radio, you would think that we're sort of a pop alt rock group. Somebody like our man HooGie here has been around a long time and has heard a lot of the songs that aren't on the album, like not on the radio, pardon me, that are the deep cuts on every album. We have heavy songs on every record.
Yeah. Some
more than others, some less than others, but we're a hard rock band first. That's where we started. That's always been a part of our DNA. Really, and HooGie knows that. He's hurt.
Dude, it's hard to believe how far we go back. I mean, I've known Mike since before I was even in this industry. I think I was 16 when I first met you. Yeah. And I just turned 40 this year. So
yeah, wow.
That's yeah. Like I remember the days of. I used to work with a band called Flybanger back then, and they would always open up for Nickelback, and they were all, sort of in the same management and whatnot. And it was crazy just to see you guys evolve. And I remember you guys used to travel around in, I think it was a minivan.
Yeah.
With a trailer.
Yeah. And I'll never forget the day. The stage, I'm a little hazy on what stage it was, but I remember standing on the stage with the guys and them saying, "Meet Jeremy. He's our new guy. He's our new tech." And I was like, "Oh, Jeremy's very young."
That's his name, Jeremy.
It's his first day. He had no idea. Nobody has any idea in your first day. This is one of those jobs in life that you don't train up for. You get thrown in, and the lights go down, and the show starts, and you keep your fingers crossed that nothing goes wrong, because when something goes wrong, you got to act right now. And a lot of times you don't know what to do in the beginning, especially.
I actually, when in high school, I graduated in Surrey, QE, and I did work placement program there. And I actually did it at Alal McQuaid under Daniel before he was even in your band. That's how
we are connected.
Yes. And I think I'm the only Canadian that never worked for you guys.
Not yet.
But there's definitely we've definitely had a lot of connections throughout the 25 years.
Yeah, that's so crazy to say that, isn't it?
Yeah. Hard to believe. From the Starfish Room to getting to work with bands like Breaking Ben or Stain and touring with you guys, doing Joe Louis Arena, just like mind blowing to think about just how much it's grown over the last couple decades.
Amazing. It's good to see the progress.
It's crazy that you knew him before he was even HooGie. I mean, that just says it right there.
Yeah. When I met him, he was Jeremy, and one day I got introduced to a guy on stage at probably Joe Louis or something like that. Hey, this is our tech HooGie. I'm like, HooGie, huh? Okay. All right, HooGie. You're HooGie now.
Wow. Before HooGie and after HooGie.
Yeah.
Is that how? Yeah.
I think it took one tour for the guys to rename me, and it stuck. It never went away. You need a nickname, they always said.
All right, so coming up, we're going to play a little game called Would You Rather, presented by Spartan Brews. So we'll come back with that in just a couple minutes. It's the Mark and HooGie Show.
Hey, this is Phil Demmel from Violence, and you're watching the Mark and HooGie Show.
Spartan Brews Coffee Company, simply the best coffee in the world. Spartan Brews Coffee Company is determined to provide coffee drinkers an uncompromising roast that is extremely pleasing and provides a smooth taste with just the right amount of body that every coffee drinker will appreciate. Visit them online at SpartanBrews.com and use our promo code MAHS20 to save 20% off roasts. That's MAHS20 at SpartanBrews.com.
The meanest beard products in the world. HooGie here, and I gotta tell you, I've been utilizing the meanest beard product in the world for some time right now. It's helped my beard come in full, luscious, and, well, what more can I say? Save 15% using the Meanest Beard discount code MB15MH. Find us on the web at meanbeardco.com.
Medically Correct, the creators of Incredibles, are celebrating 10 years. Visit them online at medicallycorrect.com and use our promo code MH15 to save 15% on your order at checkout. High quality, handcrafted ingredients and award-winning extracts. That's MH15 at medicallycorrect.com.
Why leave the house to go shopping when you can buy from your couch? Buyfromyourcouch.com strives to give their customers unique quality products and service at the absolute best price. Choose from one of their fashionable and washable masks and keep yourself and others safe. Plus, check out their top quality shirts, bar supplies, and more. Just visit buyfromyourcouch.com.
Adventure Mystic is Mystic, Connecticut's premier paddle sports destination, featuring bike, kayak, and paddleboard rentals, sunrise, sunset, and full moon paddle events, kayak and paddleboard lessons, tours, and private parties, paddleboards, skateboards, snowboards, and so much more. Now shipping anywhere in North America. Order online at adventuremystic.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Support the Mark and HooGie Show by purchasing your very own Mark and HooGie Show merch. Shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and even flip-flops. You know you want to walk all over them, just like their kids do. So head over to the merch page at themarkandhoogieshow.com today.
Would You Rather is brought to you by Spartan Brews Coffee Company. Visit them online at spartanbrews.com and make sure to use promo code MAHS20 to save 20% off all roasts. That's promo code MAHS20 to save 20% off all roasts at spartanbrews.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Mark and HooGie Show. We're about to kick off the Would You Rather edition with my good friend, Michael Kroeger. Today's edition brought to you by Spartan Brew. So, would you rather? We give you two options, sir, and you basically pick one, which way you would rather go. So I'm going to start it off with, would you rather be able to speak every language out there or be able to speak to animals?
Oh, I definitely rather speak to animals because, yeah, the choice really is whether to speak to people or animals. I'll take animals all day.
Yeah.
It could be pretty cool, just some of the conversations and such that you would get out of them.
No kidding. I'd really like to know what they're thinking.
Right?
Yeah.
They're thinking we're all nuts and they hate us all. All right. So I'll start with an easy one. Would you rather have 3 feet or 3 hands?
Oh, 3 hands for sure. Yeah, definitely 3 hands.
Really? Now, why, if you don't mind me asking? Because 3 feet, you could walk faster, possibly.
Yeah, playing shows would be much more interesting with 3 hands.
It would be.
True. Yeah, that's true.
You'd be playing, throwing picks, having a drink.
Sure. Yeah.
You could always have a drink in your hand. Actually,
I'd be able to get a Spartan Brews down while I was playing a song.
Great idea.
True that. Okay. So, would you rather create history or delete history?
Wow, dude, that's not an easy question to answer. Creating history is kind of what we're all kind of doing now.
Yep.
It's not the most fun, actually. It kind of sucks. So I guess I'll take B, deleting history. I don't know. It seems like a crazy choice, but living in history right now has proven to be challenging.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we are where we're at, given the fact that we just saw each other at NAMM, and less than a month later, it's like the world's shutting down, and our whole industry is put on hold.
So crazy.
All right. Would you rather lose your sense of taste or smell?
Smell for sure. Definitely smell.
See, they kind of
come to think of it,
right? I was gonna say,
yeah, because
I've been on some smelly buses.
Yeah, me too.
I've been in some smelly venues.
You from tasting things that you don't want to taste. Ooh, that's a hard one. Yeah, I'll take smell anyway. If I have to choose one of these two, I'll take that one. Sure.
So smell. Well, this might affect my next question. Would you rather eat cow tongue or cow brain?
Well, I think I've had cow tongue and it was okay. You know?
Okay.
But I haven't eaten meat for a long time, so that would be a tough one. And
Oh, no.
cow brain apparently can be dangerous if ingested.
Isn't it a delicacy in some places?
I don't know.
I think it is. I believe yes.
Oh my.
This is the second time, HooGie, you put your foot in your mouth with vegetarians or vegans. You know,
It's okay. It's all right. You know, I'm a huge. I used to love eating beef. You know, I didn't quit because I didn't like it.
How long have you been vegetarian or vegan?
Yeah, I went vegan for a little while and vegetarian for the majority, and just lately I've started taking up with the fishes again.
Okay.
So I'm on the slide back to carnivorousness.
I heard bacon's the weakness for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Bacon, they call it the re-entry drug. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. They smell that and it's like.
Yeah. I'm holding up now, but boy, I could fall to bacon at any time.
All right, this might be a tough one, so I apologize. So, would you rather keep the success you have and the world be in the current state forever, or give up all the success and money that you've had and there's a world of peace and all diseases are cured?
Well, that's easy. Yeah, that's easy. To give up that for world peace or whatever.
But you may be living on the street, scraping by.
I'm keeping the success. I got my closet.
I was gonna say, me too. I think me and HooGie are bad people, maybe.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. It's been a fun ride and all that, but given the stakes that you've offered me, it seems like a pretty easy choice.
All right.
Would you rather?
Brought to you by Spartan Brews. Go visit them online, spartanbrews.com. All right, we're going to come back in a couple minutes, and we're going to ask you some questions. Some listeners and viewers are going to ask you some questions as well. All right, so that's coming up on the Mark and HooGie Show this week with our special guest, Mike Kroeger.
Great.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Danny Mossop. You're watching the Mark and HooGie Show. Enjoy.
Rev Amplification is committed to innovation, tone, and service. Check out the new Alpha Series, the all-new G20 and D20, as well as our great line of pedals. The plan from the start with the G-Series pedals was to recreate the tone of our amplifiers. You can pick that up in one of the 3 options, the G2, G3, and G4 pedals, and they're available today over at revamplification.com.
Support the Mark and HooGie Show by purchasing your very own Mark and HooGie Show merch. Shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and even flip-flops. You know you want to walk all over them, just like their kids do. So head over to the merch page at themarkandhoogieshow.com today.
Prestige Guitars. We manufacture both solid and semi-hollow body electric guitars, bass guitars, and acoustics, using only the top components. Whether you're on stage, in the studio, or at home, Prestige Guitars will ensure that you sound, feel, and look the best each and every time you pick it up. Check out our new custom shop online at prestigeguitars.com.
Bestronix Pro Audio, providing high-end and durable audio cables for the professional musician. All cables are custom made to order and manufactured right in the USA using premium components. Check out our custom pedal board and rack builds. Visit best-tronics.com and don't forget to follow us on our socials.
Homegrown Boone's Bourbon, founded by American singer-songwriter Tyler Boone from the Striped Pig Distillery in Charleston, South Carolina. It's 117% proof, 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% barley. True American-made bourbon, aged in brand new American white oak charred barrels. Order a bottle online today. DrinkBoonesBourbon.com. Will soon be available in Edmonton, Canada, and in Europe. Ask a Question is brought to you by Adventure Mystic. Adventure Mystic is Mystic, Connecticut's premier paddle sports destination, featuring bike, kayak, and paddleboard rentals, paddleboards, skateboards, snowboards, and so much more. Now shipping anywhere in North America. Order online at adventuremystic.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Hey, we're back. It is the Mark and HooGie Show. Mike Kroeger of Nickelback is our special guest today, and it's time for you guys to ask a question, and it's all brought to you by Adventure Mystic. Visit them online at adventuremystic.com. So we've had a couple people send in some questions for you, Mike. Some really good ones. And then, of course, our regular Jeff,
which
we'll see what he calls me this week. He always messes up my name.
He never gets his name right, and I swear he's getting drunker and drunker.
I think so.
Less clothes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll check in with him in a little bit. But all right, let's go to our first question right now. Here we go.
Hey, Mike. Hope you're well. My question for you is, since you are such a big fan of all things dessert, what is your favorite type of cheesecake? Thank you.
That guy.
I
know that guy. So let me tell you a little story about John there, just for the viewers, because I'm sure you know the stories. But
and if you don't,
I'd like to know.
If you don't know John works security with Shinedown, worked with Nickelback. That's how I know John. And go ahead, Mike.
Yes, John worked with us for quite some time, and I really enjoyed John's company, especially in catering, because I could always find him at the dessert table, and so that became kind of our rapport away from the stage, so to speak, was have you seen dessert yet? That was usually where I could catch him. And then he decided to kind of turn it back to me, because, I'm a fan of dessert too, for sure. And, a little fat shaming here and there, guy stuff, so, so I guess, my favorite dessert is anyone that, my favorite cheesecake is anyone that John G is a part of.
Nice.
Okay. So there's always a dessert table at catering?
Yes, sadly there is.
Oh my God, I need to tour with a band.
That was one of those things I tried to get the wife to do since we've been off. Like, I want this part of the counter. Can you have it?
Yeah, how's that going for you, Hoogie?
She still refuses to go buy the stuff I put on the bus stock list on the fridge.
Yeah.
I asked her to have it in the fridge by 2. No, not impressed.
Yeah, let's get back on the road so we can live.
Yeah.
Hoogie, you just said before we went on air that you bought a new house. Is your wife kicking you out? Is she getting you to flip a house, and then it's going to be like, why don't you just go live there for a little bit?
She's getting me to flip a house because I've been doing this too much with you. You got to stop hanging out with Mark.
Smart. Your wife is a very smart and beautiful lady. All right, let's go to our next question.
Hey, Mike. Mark from Southern Ontario. Here's a scenario for you. First night of tour, you fall off stage and break your arm. Who do you trust to replace you for the rest of the tour?
That's a great question. I've already made a deal with a guy. There's this guy. He's a really good friend of mine. He's another Spectre endorsed artist by the name of Marty O'Brien. He's played with everybody under the sun. He plays with Lita Ford on a regular basis, and he's a rocker to the core. But he's also a good buddy. And I told him a couple records back, he came to the studio to visit, and I had a few pops, and I told him if I was ever unable to carry on, that he would be my guy for sure. So yeah,
he's a guy.
Is this a thing? Do most musicians have somebody that's waiting, just in case?
Well, it depends. It depends on your role. If you're sort of like a core member, you might do that. If you're a hired guy, you might not.
Right.
There's that old joke amongst sort of journeyman musicians: never, hire a replacement for yourself that's gonna steal your job. Never hire a replacement that's better than you, I think is the quote.
I think a lot of people don't realize how many hired musicians there actually are. Even in some big bands, it's technically they're just kind of hired help.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
So there's sort of differing. There's differing ways that you would take choosing a replacement, because if you're a hired guy, you can put yourself out of a job.
Yeah.
Over the years,
you see, yeah.
Over the years of teching, I've had it happen twice, where Eric from Shinedown actually blew out his back, couldn't even stand up, and we had to have somebody come in and fill for him. Josh Stern, Lacey's husband.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I was with Lamb of God, John Campbell had to leave for a personal reason for a minute. And same thing, he had to have somebody come in and fill in for the rest of the tour. So, I've definitely had that happen as a tech where, you're playing bass today. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting. Those guys, they're so nervous and am I doing okay? Every song they're coming over. Am I okay? Yeah, dude, you're fine. Just keep, point. Just point.
Replaced yet. It hasn't happened yet where I've had to have somebody replace me, but who knows? It could happen.
And hopefully it doesn't happen. And you don't have to worry about it.
That is the hope.
All right, let's go to our next question now.
What's up, Hoogie, Mark, Mike? I'm Jonathan Raphael from Ego Kill Talent, and we are so glad to be on the Mark and HooGie Show. And Mike, we have 2 questions for you.
The first one is, what issues did you guys face on the early days of Nickelback? The main things you guys had to overcome in the beginning of your career?
And how did you feel for at the first time Nickelback came out on radio charts? Rock on.
Peace. Be safe.
Very nice.
Good questions there.
Good questions. They're very, very easy to answer too. As a matter of fact, so the biggest thing you always have to overcome as a new band, and Hoogie, you know this because you've been there, you know it, is apathy. In the beginning, just simply nobody cares. Until you break through, nobody gives a crap. You're just another band, and apathy is just the worst. So yeah, cleaning that up was key, and one of the harder things to break through, because you get out there, you write your songs, you record your songs, you do your best on the road to play good live shows and play as many as you can, and try to gather as many fans as you can. But the biggest thing you got to do is find a way to engage people and make them care. And how did it feel hitting the charts? I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's pretty great. You kind of it is interesting though, because there's this kind of lag period of you're selling a whole bunch of records and you're on the radio, but you're still working a job because the money hasn't come yet. So I remember being on the charts and still stacking bricks and boards at Lumberland, working in a lumberyard, driving a forklift and stuff. And I remember a lot of my friends were like, "Hey, I saw your video on TV, and your song's in the top 10." And I was like, "Yeah, it is. It really is." And I'm gonna go stack bags of cement now. It's just the reality. There is a lag period.
It's funny. I remember chatting with you. Oh man, it's probably about 15 years ago now, when I was working out in Prince Edward Island. And you guys have always kind of remembered where you came from, and you don't ever forget that, no matter how big your band is. I feel like, and still, even now, I can tell you remember that you're lucky to be in this position. You don't take it for granted, which I've always kind of liked about that, because there's some of those bands, I think, where they kind of get to a point where they think they're almost better than other people, and you guys have never gotten like that, which is nice to see. And you remember, like you worked your ass off, and it could go away like that. Just because you're the biggest band in the world right now doesn't mean you will be tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. I just often think of it. I read it. An interview with somebody, I forget who it was. I think it was some English pop star. I can't remember who it was, that said that, when you become a pop star, you can't be like everybody else, because, no one wants to see a legend taking out the trash, and it's like, I think of that every time I take out the trash. Yeah. I wave to my neighbors, and I realize that I'm not the queen. You know what I mean? It's you're just a person at the end of the day, and sometimes it takes a little longer to come around to that idea. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people have to feel really super important to do what they got to do, but it always is going to come home that you're just another human.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our next question.
What's going on, buddy? All right, got a question for you. Aliens coming down to Earth. Everybody knows about it. We're waiting for them. You get to pick who talks to them first, greets them, and is the face of all humanity. You have a choice of 3 people. The Dude, DeJesus, or Walter Sobchak. Who you picking and why? Looking forward to the answer, buddy.
Big Lebowski fan there.
I had a great answer until he peeled down the 3 characters from the Big Lebowski, and that makes it kind of hard because I think all 3 of those characters bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
They definitely. I suppose it's an easy and maybe somewhat pat answer, but the dude being the Buddha of our times, I think he would be definitely the guy I would want the aliens to meet as a representative of all humanity. As a honorable mention, I'd probably choose Paul Rudd, just because Paul Rudd can do no wrong. I would definitely have him represent us as a race for sure.
I think every woman who's watching would agree with that as well. Probably the women love Paul Rudd.
Yes.
But smart choice not choosing Walter, because I feel like Walter would just immediately pull out a gun and start cutting people's toes off.
He could be the end of us.
He could be. All right, and finally we have our friend Red Cup Jeff.
Hey, Mescal and HooGie. It's your old pal Red Cup Jeff checking in. This time I got a question. I heard it's for a guy named Mike Kroeger. Guy comes from a legendary band that's been around for decades. The guy's been in hits after hits. All I want to know, if you had to F, marry, kill, who would it be in your band? I want to know. Would it be Daniel, Ryan, or that guy named Chad? And why would you kill Chad? Why? And what is it like having Avril Lavigne as your sister-in-law? All right. Till next time, your pal Red Cup Jeff. Thanks.
What did he call you this week?
First off, I have no idea, but I'm more concerned about the fact that it seems as though he's in a public bathroom, butt naked on a toilet, making a video for this show.
And who's making the video?
Well, that too. He didn't touch.
Unfortunate. I was just going to ask you. I haven't tuned in before, so I was going to ask if he always shoots those from the toilet bowl.
We've gotten some weird ones from that guy, and people seem to like him more than me and Mark.
And it sounds like he's partied a little too much the past couple days because he's losing his voice too.
Well, from what I understood, he went away for a couple days with his buddy Jericho. He's good friends with Jericho. And he went to Florida and went to the wrestling, and now look at him.
Jericho was probably the one filming it. Maybe they were naked in the stall together.
Could have been.
Jericho was filming. Anyways.
Chris is a very greedy guy. He might get into that,
So good question there. So who you killing?
So first of all, I'd kill Ryan for sure because he's too beautiful. Something that beautiful must die.
Okay.
I would fuck Daniel because everybody wants to fuck Daniel. Let's just face it. And I guess that leaves I'd have to marry my brother, which I don't know. Maybe there's some places where you get down like that. I don't know.
All right.
That is a pretty much a trap of a question. I gotta say, very much.
It was. So. Do we address the Avril question, or is that?
Yeah,
do we just?
Sure. I mean, it was interesting having her as a sister-in-law for a while.
Yeah.
That was just another element of paparazzi on us.
Right.
we never got hit with paparazzis near as much as we did when those two were married. Getting off planes in Australia and Japan and just people jumping out of plants, and sticking cameras in your face.
Crazy.
It was pretty wild. She's Avril's super famous. Just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all right then. Well, I'm sorry, I'm still throwing up by Jeff on the toilet.
I want to know what he's going to
Look at there. I don't know how he's going to top this.
And how many takes did that take?
Oh boy, yes, yeah. One must wonder.
All right. You know what? I got one really quick question because I was hoping somebody was going to ask it. The memes. Yeah. Does it upset you when you see the memes of your brother and the hate on social media and all of that stuff?
What my opinion is that if it's funny, I love it because I can laugh at it. I can laugh at me. I can laugh at my band. I can, of course, laugh at my brother. You know, so if it is funny, it's funny. You know, everybody can laugh at their brother. It's not just me. You know, push him down the stairs or whatever. You know, that's what we do. But
my kids do that every day.
Of course they do. They're little homicide machines. They just homicide / suicide. They're crazy. But you know, it sometimes takes, you know, a turn to meanness or just sort of, you know, negativity for negativity's sake, and that's, you know, lame. But otherwise, if it's funny, it's funny. And, you know, there have been some funny ones. You know, every once in a while somebody's clever, and I'll have a good laugh at that. But
with the photograph.
Yeah, sometimes that's been done right, and sometimes that's been done wrong. When it's been used for political purposes, we're not so happy with that.
Right.
You know, because that's not fun or lighthearted or whatever. That's somebody trying to, you know, gain by using us. And we don't want to be a tool of politics for anybody.
Yeah, smart. I always say the only reason people pick on certain bands, it's because it just means you're that popular. Right? Like, I feel like once you reach that level, people just want to pick on you because they just feel like you're too high. We need to bring you down.
Yeah, it is. And we all remember the days when our favorite bands were pounded, you know, usually coincided with them going on to sell a bunch of albums or
Metallica, man.
Super
Metallica
famous.
got ripped, right?
Everybody.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
Bon Jovi was really cool until they got famous, and then they got plowed. You know, everybody gets it. It's just that's just how this works. And, you know, it just seems like people just don't like it when people win.
Yeah.
You know, they really, really dig it when somebody is totally hopeless, hapless, you know, fighting the odds, probably never going to make it, but, you know, get behind the underdog. And then when the underdog isn't an underdog anymore, that's when you're pretty much fucked. You know, that's when they're going to come for you when you win. They don't like you. Look at the people going after Joe Rogan right now, you know.
Right, yeah.
The guy who won, he figured it out. It's hilarious that, you know, the guy had this huge following of people that just, you know, loved him, and he could do no wrong till he signs a massive deal with Spotify, and now he's an asshole. It's just like, come on, like,
because everybody else would do the exact same thing if they were in his shoes, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. You know, and nobody is really begrudging him the decision of finally saying yes, you know, and taking the money. They just want to vilify him because he won. And you know, people hate a winner. They just do.
They really do.
That's why they like us.
That's why they like us, because we're always going to be losers. Till that comment.
That was beautiful.
Keep watching the Mark and HooGie Show.
That was our ask a question. Thanks. We're done after this, HooGie. Thanks a lot. You've just jinxed us. Adventure Mystic presenting Ask a Question with Mike Kroeger of Nickelback. All right, we'll wrap things up in just a couple minutes. It's the Mark and HooGie Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Zach Myers from Shinedown and Smith & Myers, and you are watching my friends, the Mark and HooGie Show.
Guitar gifts for you. A personalized guitar strap. They're embroidered, affordable, and professional looking for that electric, acoustic, classical, or even bass guitar player. All guitar straps sold are genuine Levy's products. And they're all fully adjustable. GuitarGiftsForYou.com. That's guitargifts, the number 4, the letter U.com. SIT Strings is celebrating 40 years. We believe that great tone starts with great strings. Manufactured in Akron, Ohio, we're a small but mighty company made up of guitar players, bass players, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, country music fans, metalheads, 80s rockers, and even the occasional jam band guy. Visit us online at sitstrings.com. DeanBlundell.com is Canada's premier blog and podcast network. Our unique group of broadcasters, athletes, writers, and production specialists cover platforms that range from music, sports, radio and television, marketing, self-help, and even comedy. 11 podcasts, over 20 bloggers. Pure content madness. Check it out for yourself at deanblundell.com.
Hey, what's up? We're back. It is the Mark and HooGie Show, and Mike Kroeger of Nickelback, our guest today. Always appreciate chatting with you, man. What are you doing to keep busy then? Like we talked, you said you're kind of working on some new stuff, but obviously no touring probably for the next year, unfortunately. So I see that they're already booking tours into 2022.
We're actually talking about 2022 in Europe right now.
Yeah.
But it's still very notional in nature. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know when we'll be able to do this again. Hopefully it's going to be next year. That's the target at this point, but we'll see what's allowed, what's available.
Well, Metallica did the drive-in thing.
Yeah.
Thought about that, like doing some of those.
I'm still gathering information on how that actually went.
Supposedly it went well, but
the optics look good. I want to know if it worked from their perspective. You know what I mean? Like how that whole thing went down in the end.
The streaming thing too is a big thing. Pay-per-view stuff like that.
Yeah. And we do have a documentary in the can right now that we're just now finishing the little tiny details, and then we're looking for a distribution partner for that. That will be probably the next thing that anybody hears or sees from us.
Can you talk, like, is it from like the beginning of the band to now, or is it like, really?
Precisely that. Yes. From the very, very, very gritty beginnings in Hannah, Alberta. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, do you actually have footage, like old footage from back? Like, really? Yes. See, that's pretty cool.
So it's a little cringy, but that's how it goes, This is still your life, whether you like watching it again or not. It was you. So we have that, and we'll be coming out with that soon.
Nice. Do you still have family there, by the way? Like in Hannah?
Hannah? No.
Yeah. No. So you don't go back, probably.
No, actually, the last time I was there was the last time we were there, which is we actually shot some stuff for the documentary there in some of the locales that we used for the photograph video, as a matter of fact, and some other things. But before that, it was many years prior for just a fun drop-in gig that we played with the old band that we had. And before that was shooting the photograph video, which is my God, a long time ago.
Aging you right now. You're like
a little bit.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for joining us. Looking forward to that documentary. It sounds pretty cool. I always love the stuff that goes back. I'm not really into the documentaries about, here's how we made this album.
Yeah,
it's like, well,
no, it's not.
That's how we got this sound.
Right? Yeah. I love the stories from back in the day, and I want to know how you got to the point that you've gotten to now. So that's cool, man.
We'll answer those questions for you.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Mike Kroeger of Nickelback, our guest this week on the Mark and HooGie Show. Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
The Mark and HooGie Show. Visit us online at themarkandhoogieshow.com.